Wineland goes to the body and to the head.
Brow looking to parry those shots. Oh my!
Caught him with a spinning back kick. He's hurt.
He hurt him big time.
He's
trying to finish.
bad.
It is all over.
This is how Xiaomi managed to capture Indian market by outperforming Samsung in sales in recent years. To tackle Xiaomi, Samsung has launched M20 recently and received thumbs up from critics for its price and features. But Samsung didn't anticipate Redmi Note 7's arrival, which is even more cheaper than Samsung M20. So in this video, let's compare Redmi Note 7 and Samsung M20 side by side and see who takes the trophy. As you know, this is Satish. Let's get started. Redmi Note 7 starts from Rs 9,999 for 3 GB of RAM and 4 GB of RAM variant costs Rs 11,999. Redmi Note 7 also comes in red and blue colors. Personally, I am impressed with the color blue. Whereas Samsung Galaxy M20, which was launched on Amazon for price tag of Rs 10,990 for 3 GB of RAM and 4 GB of RAM cost Rs 12,990. Talking about the color options, Samsung M20 comes with black and blue colors. Find the links to buy these phones in the description below. Redmi Note 7 gets typical accessories inside the box. You would see TPU cover, manual and guides, SIM ejector pin, 5V 2A power adapter and USB Type-C cable. Samsung as well got similar accessories in the box. You would see manual and guides, SIM ejector pin, adaptive fast charger which can charge faster and USB Type-C cable. There's no TPU cover provided in the box, which seems to be a cost cutting from Samsung. Redmi Note 7 gets a refresh here on back. This time the back gets glass body which is powered by Corning Gorilla Glass 5. The frame that goes all around the phone is made of plastic and the camera bump is made of metal. Overall, the build is good and seems premium. Simultaneously, it is slippery and attracts fingerprints and smudges. Samsung Galaxy M20 comes with unibody design which seems more like a Samsung Galaxy Note 2 having plastic back body. Frankly, I'm not too impressed with the build or physical appearance of the body as it doesn't stand out much. The curved edges on back gives the grip to hold which doesn't let you slip. Another good thing is the camera bump which doesn't protrude like Redmi Note 7. Redmi Note 7 manages to pull the audience due to its design and build comparing both the phones side by side. On top, Redmi Note 7 gets infrared sensor and audio jack, whereas nothing on Samsung M20. On right, both the phones get volume rockers and power button. On left, Redmi Note 7 gets only hybrid slot, but Samsung M20 gets triple slot, letting you to use two 4G SIM cards and a SD card simultaneously. And on bottom, both the phones get USB Type-C slot, but audio jack goes at bottom on Samsung M20 beside loudspeaker. Redmi Note 7 ports and buttons have watertight seals which might end up getting survived when you accidentally immerse in water, but you should simultaneously know that Redmi Note 7 is not IP certified. Whereas in Samsung, I don't see such engineering efforts to protect the phone from accidental drops in water. Both the phones are having 6.3-inch Full HD Plus display with 19.5:9 ratio measuring 409 pixels per inch. Redmi Note 7 comes with IPS LCD display, but Samsung M20 comes with PLS TFT display, which seems to be again a cost cutting. Saying TFT doesn't mean Samsung has compromised on display. TFT display performed as good as Redmi Note 7's IPS display in terms of brightness and color production. Both the phones struggle a bit when angled straight towards the sun, which causes legibility problems, but apart from this, the displays are completely fine and usable in outdoors. Good to see both the manufacturers trying to shrink the bezels by opting for water drop notch. Redmi calls this display as dot notch display, whereas Samsung calls this as Infinity V display. The Chinese variant Redmi Note 7, what I hold, has 48 megapixel primary camera, but what you get in India is a 12 megapixel primary camera. There's a 5 megapixel secondary camera and dual LED flash below that, whereas Samsung M20 gets in-house 13 megapixel primary camera and 5 megapixel ultra-wide secondary camera, which also helps in depth effect. I know it's not fair to compare a Chinese variant with an Indian variant, but the performance seems to be very similar. It's just that megapixels are high. These are the pictures taken during broad daylight. Redmi Note 7 does good job in keeping the colors intact, but the amount of brightness found on M20 is more. You won't spot much of a difference as both the cameras did good job in handling. Samsung M20 tries to capture details but fails to capture right colors, which results in washed out. Again, it's same M20 lacking colors. Let's see few portrait mode shots. Redmi Note 7 is bright, dynamic and background has been blurred well to focus on object. Samsung M20 performed well in this picture to keep the color, brightness and details more natural. Redmi Note 7 is successful in capturing detail and also color is natural. During low light conditions, Redmi Note 7 mostly outperforms Samsung M20 by offering more light. Talking about the video, it's a shame how Samsung gave up in providing stabilization support via software like Redmi Note 7 does. For your information, both the cameras are limited to shoot in 1080p or 30 frames per second. Overall, the Redmi Note 7 is better performant on video department as you can see. The front 13 megapixel on Redmi Note 7 does better job in handling beautification and background blur. Overall, the cameras on Redmi Note 7 puts Samsung M20 to shame when compared. Redmi Note 7 is powered by Snapdragon 660 octa-core chipset, whereas Samsung M20 is powered by in-house Exynos 7904 octa-core chipset, which is equivalent to Snapdragon 636 in terms of performance. Looking at the Antutu benchmark test, as expected, Redmi Note 7 performed nearly 25% way more better due to the superior Snapdragon 660 chipset. In day-to-day activities, both the phones managed to perform well considering 3GB of RAM on board, but here and there Samsung M20 ends up lagging, which should be fixed in upcoming firmware updates. During the gameplay, Redmi Note 7 managed to perform well without any lags or frame drops utilizing its better GPU. On the other side, Samsung M20 lagged a bit, but as game progressed you would not notice anymore. Redmi Note 7 is one of the few Xiaomi phones to already come with Android Pie 9 out of the box with MIUI 10 skin on top. Throughout the operation, it managed to perform lag-free. Even during the multitasking, it had no issues. On the other hand, Samsung M20 comes with Android Oreo 8.1 with Touch Face Experience 9.5, which seems to be very light. But out of the box, you are given with tons of Samsung and other apps which can be uninstalled and disabled fortunately. The fingerprint scanner on Redmi Note 7 is placed at ideal position, which can be accessible most of the time, whereas fingerprint scanner on Samsung M20 seems to be placed bit high, which requires little gymnastics to be performed. Comparing both the scanners side by side tells you Redmi Note 7 is bit faster in recognizing the fingerprints compared to Samsung M20, which follows next in terms of unlocking the phone. Face unlock on both the devices are fast and instant, but Samsung M20 is slightly slower due to the animation. Also, you can notice this nice animation that happens below the notch during the face unlock procedure on Samsung M20. I mostly praise Xiaomi for stacking huge batteries in their phone. Redmi Note 7 as well comes with 4000 mAh battery, which can last long up to 36 hours on above moderate usage on single charge. On the other side, Samsung went one step ahead by stacking a monstrous 5000 mAh battery, which can last long up to 2 days on above moderate usage on single charge. So Samsung managed to put huge battery in their budget phones, not in their flagships. That's bit not acceptable. Finally, Samsung managed to win in a department, that's in battery department, against Redmi Note 7. Redmi Note 7 performs well even if volume is set on high, whereas in Samsung M20 the vocals are dominating compared to the music. I would definitely go with Redmi Note 7 as I don't see any compromises in Redmi Note 7 compared to Samsung Galaxy M20. So that's it for today. If you think I deserve a credit for making this extensive comparison video, then hit the subscribe button to become part of this channel. This is Satish, have a nice day and stay awesome.